What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We have a treat for you. Today we're going to do a recap of every bottle I was able to get for the first quarter of 2024. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to keep them in order as far as like when I got them. But I would love to get you guys' comments. How did I do? With this only being 3 months worth, I mean, I feel like I got some heat. I think I do. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the very first bottle I got for 2024. And that was a very old Bourbon. Now I know it's not an allocated, it's not something highly sought after, but it was a gift, and it was the very first bottle I got to start this new year. It was a wedding gift. If you guys remember the old wedding video I posted, this was a result of that. So thank you to I forgot who gave this bottle to me, but like I said, this is the very first bottle I got for 2024. So very old Bourbon, starting this off strong. The next bottle I got for 2024 was the Booker's. I got the Booker's Export. It's a Series 1, 2023 1E. It was the export that I found when I was in the Virgin Islands. Remember that video over here? But yeah, so this is the first bottle that I actually bought myself in 2024. This was during my honeymoon with my wife. We were in Virgin Islands and went to a shop and found this bottle for under $100. So finding Booker's for under 100 is crazy, but finding it for 79 with no tax, unheard of. And as you can see, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. The thing is nice. So bottle number 2, we got a Booker's. Now, I think going along that same trend, the next bottle that I was able to get in 2024, I think it's still January if I'm not mistaken, was the Old Forester 1924 release. This was the first year that they released this bottle. It's a 10-year-old 100 proof Old Forester product, but it comes with a pretty penny. I think MSRP for this right now is like 100 plus, like 110, 120, something like that. I was able to get this bottle for around 150. So yeah, I mean, when it came out, had all the hype, all the buzz. I like this bottle a lot. So I'm gonna be sad when it's gone, but I hope they make this more of a shelf staple, because it'll definitely be something I will keep on my personal shelf. So number 3, 1924. I think this is the next one. Yes. Yeah. So this is 1792 Full Proof. This is actually a store pick. This is a Single Barrel Red Hot Liquors out in Cleveland, Tennessee. I had a friend who went out there and picked it up, and I just asked him to grab me one as well. So as you can see, I haven't cracked it yet, but 1792 is a brand that I really like myself personally. Once I get around to opening this, I'll let you guys know how it was. Let's put you right over here. Right there. All right, so then we came across, boom, our first big bottle for the year. This is Weller Full Proof, and I think this is a 2023 release, if I'm not mistaken. But if you guys are fans of bourbon or new to bourbon, then you may or may not have heard of Weller. Weller is a Buffalo Trace product. It's one of the most highly sought after lines of bourbon. And so Weller Full Proof, I've only ever had really one. So this is my second bottle. And so being able to find this, and I think I found it for a great price. If I'm not mistaken, I found this bottle for around 100, something like that. Can't really remember off the top of my head, but we'll have the actual price right up here. Weller Full Proof makes its appearance early this year. It took me 2 years to find my first one. I found this one within the first month of 2024. Started off hot. Around the same time that I found the Weller Full Proof, I found another heater. And it's actually the first time I've ever had this bottle in the collection. So I always love looking for bottles that I have not had personally, to try to just get some experience and have a bottle of my own that I can go back and revisit, let it open up, and really just experiment with. But that bottle is a Rock Hill Farms. So this is my first Rock Hill Farms. I know this is also another highly sought after bottle. It's 100 proof. I can't really tell you much about it because I haven't had it yet. I'm excited to crack it open and see if it's worth all the hype. But I think I found this one for a great price as well, which is really what prompted me to go out and give it a try. Like I said, we have a running tally right up here, so the price for this bottle will be right here. And let me know in the comments, have you had Rock Hill Farms? Is it actually worth the hype? And how does it stack up to Blanton's? Because I've heard it be compared to Blanton's quite a bit. Next on the lineup, I think we're now coming into the month of February. So I think this kind of rounds us out for January right here. But February, let's start with you. Boom. So the first bottle of February, if I'm remembering correctly, is the first edition of the Eric Church Jack Daniel collaboration. So as you guys know, the Eric Church you guys might see today has all the artwork and all the graffiti on the bottle. This was the first release of that bottle, and it does not have all the artwork. It has just the name tag. So if you could look at it right here, Eric Church, the Chief, it just has like the guitar pick, chain, necklace right here. I'm really excited to have something. This was bottled on January 30th, 2019, having a first edition of a highly sought after or highly allocated Jack collaboration. It was worth it to me. And like I said, it's personal preference. I think I paid a pretty penny, paid a little up for it, but it's worth it to have it. Now, I do plan to open this at some point. This is going to be a special occasion because, I mean, just look at this juice. It looks, oh man, look at that. It's only 84 proof, so it's not even like the barreled or the single barrel strength that you guys might see now, the rise or anything like that. It's only 84 proof. Let me know in the comments though, do you think this was a good idea to pick this up? I mean, I know it's first edition, and I think that's kind of what I got caught up with, but no, the price up here, do you think I paid a fair price for it? And if I didn't, what would you have paid for it? What is that bottle worth to you? Because I know when it comes to bourbon hunting, it all depends on personal preference. What would you pay for it? What does your budget allow? Keeping the train rolling. So this is around the same time I found the first edition of the Eric Church Jack Daniels release. I found Elijah Craig 18 year, but it was barreled in 1997. That's like 3 years after I was born. So I found something that has juice close to around my age, which it's almost like 30-year-old juice right here. Kind of crazy to have. I got something from the 90s and I have something that's fairly recent. And just wanted to see, as you guys can see, the artwork and I mean, the tab on it, the artwork is just completely different than what we have today. But how does that compare to the process? Like, how does the juice taste compared to the new releases, right? It's still only 90 proof. I know that's what a lot of people complain about with Elijah Craig, the 18 year, because it's like a $200 bottle, but it's only 90 proof, right? And some people want the age to represent in the proof points as well. I would love to hear you guys' comments about it as well. Do you think 90 proof is sufficient, or do you want more of a 100 proof, 100 plus proof for the 18-year stamp? All in all, I mean, a crazy pickup to have. It's 18 years old. I mean, the artwork on it is crazy. If you guys can just look at this, definitely want to crack it open and do a blind side-by-side comparison blind between my 22 release and the 97. But you know, until then, I can say I have it. We're still in February at this point, so we got all this within February. So I was pretty busy the first 2 months, right? My wife came through with a huge surprise. And this was something that took me years to find, my first one. And she found it on the whim. She knew it was something that I want. This is another Weller product. This is a CYPB. The CYPB stands for Craft Your Perfect Bourbon. It's one of the hardest bottles to find in the Weller lineup. I think this one and the single barrel, the orange label, are the top two hardest to find. And I think under that will be the 4 proof. So I have two of some of the hardest in the rainbow to finish or to find within the first 3 months of this year. So this year is starting off really strong for me, guys. And my wife came through with an amazing gift. I think she paid $300 for this. And as you guys know, on average, you're seeing these for $500 as a fair price. I've seen these on the shelf at some museums for like $1,000 plus. So getting this as a gift for my wife, man, I'm glad to have it back in the collection. So CYPB in February. Now coming out of February, I think we're now in March. One bottle that I tried that I absolutely loved at a bottle share that I had over a friend's house was this, the James E. Pepper. I tried this and man, I fell in love with it. This bottle is I mean, amazing. I don't know if you guys have had it. If you have had it, I would love to hear your thoughts around it. But for me, I love this bottle. I have to refrain myself from drinking the whole bottle just because it's so good, man. It has such a deep, rich flavor that I get from it, like a real cherry-ish flavor with it. Then it's a higher proof too. This is 107.6 proof. Man, it's one of the best bottles that I found this year. And so when I tried this in January, and I was able to find it by March. I think I've got it for a great price, honestly and truly. You have your own, bourbon hunting philosophy as far as how much you'll spend for a bottle, and that's perfectly fine. For me, I found the bottle that I absolutely love because it's my first time having it, and I paid the price that I thought was fair. So I'm going to add that to the tally right there. So this one is not a huge heater. As you guys can see from most of these, I haven't really got too many hazmat level 120, 115 plus proof bourbon. Most of them have been pretty, 90 to maybe 110. I think the full proof I had is the highest proof point outside of the Bookers. I mean, Bookers is Bookers. And that kind of follows the trend with this. This is a craft bourbon that I picked up on a recommendation from Garrett at Imbibe. And as you guys know, I love his recommendations because it gets me off of the beaten path. But yeah, this is the Paragon Cask Strength. And when I tell you, like, this thing it took me by surprise how good it was. It's 106.2 proof, but it's a cask strength. I was like, how is it a cask strength, but still, not 110 proof at least? And so Garrett gave me some information as far as like how if it's a lower proof point and it's a cask strength, then it has like a sweeter note to it. And so it took me a while to really get used to that flavor profile because I'm used to coming in hot and heavy. But this is distilled, aged, and bottled by Southern Distilling Company out of Statesville, South Carolina. When I tell you it was a great pickup. I've been drinking it quite a bit. I'm a fan of it now. It took me a while to really wrap my head around the complexity that came with this bottle because it's different than anything I have over here. But yeah, if you're looking for something that is, it's also a weeder. If you're looking for something that's different off the beaten path and you're able to find this bottle, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. So let's put Paragon right here. You know what? Let's bring Pepper with you. Let's give it some more. Come on now. Let's just highlight some more things and try to make it even. While I was in Memphis for a visit, I went on a little bourbon hunt at my favorite store, Lake District. When I go out to Memphis, I go there and visit Lake District every time I come to Memphis because the staff they're super friendly and they always have something new. They're always adding to the store, whether it's display shelves or something. With that being said, I tried something different. I got a Maker's Mark Private Select. Different than what I normally go for. Normally I try to go for a store pick of something that's not Maker's Mark. But this one was actually really good. This is a chocolate cherry cordial. It's exactly what it said it was. And I'm a big fan of cherry. And I'm not the biggest fan of chocolate whiskey, but it was approachable and it wasn't overbearing. And it was really good because they gave me a sample of it before I bought it. I'm going to be looking for more Maker's Mark Private Selects just because I was uneducated and didn't know that it came with some of these more experimental flavors. Thank you guys for opening my eyes at Lake District that Maker's Mark has more than just the number 46 cask strength and things like that. But yeah, so this is March now, and this comes in at 110.1 proof. But yeah, all around, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I've already cracked it open, as you can see, and the people I've let try it, they enjoy it as well. So should have grabbed another one. Definitely should have grabbed more than one. To round out the video, because I think we're coming towards the end. Matter of fact, I know we are. These next two bottles are I'm gonna present them together because I got them together, and they have a story where it really kind of fits everything. But before we get to these last two bottles, thank you guys for staying to this point in the video. I really appreciate it. Give me a favor, give me a like, sub, comment which one was the best pickup that you think. Tell me what was the best deal, or did I overpay for everything? All your comments help the algorithm and help the channel be seen by more people, and the support that I've received thus far is massive. And actually, we have a Discord and we just started the Patreon. So we're slowly becoming an official channel, guys. But thank you guys up to this point because your support has been tremendous. Going to these last two bottles. First bottle is going to be a Barrel Imbibe store pick. the second bottle is going to be a Barrel Seagrass. Now, the reason I have 2 Barrel products, and we're going to round the video off with these 2, is because these are the most recent bottles that I've purchased myself. And it was at a private barrel event. So I actually had Trip Stimson, and he actually signed both of these bottles himself because he came to Chattanooga. He held a private event. And I was able to taste Imbibe Store Pick before it was ever released. I picked up the Seagrass because that was my first time ever trying an actual barrel product, and I love the Seagrass. Out of everything I tried, the Seagrass to me was my favorite. Now, I picked the Imbibe Store Pick because it reminded me a little bit of some other offerings that I really enjoy. And so I picked both of these up, and I think I paid combined is around maybe $230, something like that, for both of them. And that was really a reason why I don't have a lot of barrel experience or experience with barrel products, because most of their bottles were around that $100 price point. And if I have never had it before, or if I've never heard people really talk about it, I don't really want to take that leap of faith on a brand that I'm not familiar with. And so being able to go to this private event, it really gave me opportunity to introduce myself to their line and find something that I actually love, which is the Seagrass. And then also try one of their first barrel picks, which is, like I said, the Imbibe. Now, the Imbibe Store Pick comes in at 117.36 proof, and the Seagrass, which is also like a cast strength, comes in at 119.3 proof. Everything that they had was cast strength. They didn't water it down. The product was the product. And so the Seagrass is finished in, how do you pronounce that? It's finished in rum and apricot brandy barrels, Madeira and apricot brandy barrels. I don't know what Madeira is, but I know I like this bottle. Thing about bourbon, man, you don't have to know everything that's in it, but if you like it, that's all that matters. So I'll definitely try to educate myself more on barrel, and you might see more barrel products show up in some of these videos, simply because like I've been introduced to the brand and I like the offerings the brand has. That kind of rounds out the video. That's the end of March 2024. As the year rolls on, we'll start getting more and more releases. When we get to Q4, when we start getting some of the B-Tax and some of the really hard to find allocated stuff, I'm really excited for that too. But for this to be Q1, which is normally a really slow time for bourbon, I feel like I made a great lineup here. Let me know in the comments how I did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.